My name is Olivia. I'm 37 years old. Ever since I graduated from high school, I've been working from home. Today was my dear sister's wedding day. I was subjected to some really awful words from the groom's parents.
Still, don't get it? There's no place here for a bottom-rung woman who didn't go to college. Know your place, will you? You want your sister to be happy, right?
Such ugly faces twisted with malice. What foolish people they are. They must only be able to maintain their pride by looking down on others. For the sake of my sister and her husband, and for myself, I decided to put these two in their place. Our parents died in a car accident when I was 16 and my sister Ava was 3. I remember everything going dark the moment I heard the news. I think I even forgot to breathe or blink for a while. It was my father's brother and his wife who lived nearby that helped me get back on my feet. After that, my uncle became our guardian and took care of us for a long time. After graduating high school, I turned my part-time video editing job into a full-time career. At that time, Ava was 6 years old. Helping my sister learn and grow became my purpose in life. I might be biased as her sister, but Ava is smart, beautiful, and a kind-hearted girl. Top of her class in elementary, middle school, and high school. She's my pride and joy, and I'm not ashamed to show her off anywhere. And now, Ava was marrying a man she met through her boss's introduction. Let me introduce you. This is Jack. Jack, this is my sister, Olivia.
Pleased to meet you. I'm Jack.
Nice to meet you. I'm Olivia, Ava's sister. Jack, Ava's boyfriend, was just as wonderful as she was. He came from a good family, was good-looking, and a fine young man. They were the perfect handsome couple. But there was one thing I was worried about. It was Jack's parents. Jack mentioned something troubling when he came to introduce himself.
My parents are a bit peculiar. I'm worried they might offend you, Olivia, when we meet.
He even apologized in advance. To think he had to say that about his own parents? I became anxious about meeting them. The day of the meeting between the two families arrived. We met at Jack's family's home, as per their request. A large mansion with a grand gate. I was completely overwhelmed. Upon meeting them, Jack's parents did nothing but brag about their family and their son.
You could say we're a distinguished family around here. Our house has been so for generations.
Jack is an exceptionally talented child, even in our family. Your sister is lucky. There was no time for us to talk. Jack looked embarrassed. Eventually, Jack's parents suggested to Jack and Ava.
Why don't you two go for a walk?
They said. Jack, looking worried, took Ava out of the room. I will probably never forget the humiliation I suffered afterwards. Gone was the amiability of just a second ago. Jack's parents turned hostile.
So I hear you sisters don't have parents. That's a pity. Can a girl raised in such a family really become a decent wife?
What do you mean by that?
Just what he said. Even kids from single-parent homes end up with warped personalities. Can you imagine what happens when there are no parents at all?
As you've seen, doesn't Ava seem like a perfectly normal girl? She's academically excellent, considerate, always straightforward, and adores her sister.
But the fact remains she's parentless. She hasn't been raised properly.
There's no such thing as a plant that grows straight from bad soil, right? You understand our concern.
However, as you can see, our son is very fond of your sister. We're making an exceptional case in welcoming her into our family as a wife. But? We don't want you at the wedding. You bring the tone down.
You didn't go to college, did you? Having someone like that in the family is embarrassing. What arrogant and oppressive people. It was the first time I'd been insulted to my face about my birth and upbringing. But I had already been forewarned about Jack's parents' oddities by Jack himself. That allowed me to handle the situation calmly. I can't do that.
What did you say?
Indeed, my sister and I have no parents. We were never wealthy. Since we were young, we've supported each other and lived as best we could. If I'm not there, she would be devastated. I don't want to make my sister sad, so I will attend the ceremony.
Don't be so presumptuous. Do you intend to bring shame upon us? Think it over. We're not afraid to take drastic measures.
No matter what was said, I stood my ground. Jack's parents glared at me and hurled abuse. In the end, when Jack and Ava returned, the matter was left unresolved. I still can't forget the cold look in Jack's parents' eyes when I left. It was the day of the wedding. The solemn ceremony in the chapel was truly wonderful. Ava's happy expression when exchanging vows. I lost count of how many times I wiped tears with a handkerchief. I was overwhelmed with emotion. The trouble started after moving to the reception venue. I couldn't find my seat. When I asked the staff, "It was a directive from above." Everyone looked perplexed. As I stood confused, Jack's parents approached me and, pushing me towards a secluded area, said with a cold expression,
"We told you not to come, didn't we? You must be quite foolish."
"Well, it can't be helped. A bottom-rung woman who grew up without parents and didn't go to college." "Please stop this. Let me go back to the venue."
"Don't you get it yet? There's no place here for a bottom-rung woman who didn't go to college."
"Know your place, will you? You want your sister to be happy, right?" Jack's parents were serious. At this point, I had to make up my mind, too. "All right, I understand."
"Finally, come to your senses. Leave quickly."
I was pushed out and locked out of the venue by the two. But this was all within my expectations. I hid and watched the goings-on at the venue. The bride and groom made a grand entrance, lights shining on them, loud applause. The first to notice my absence was Ava. After taking her seat, she whispered to Jack and called for a staff member. "My sister's missing. Please find her. We can't proceed without her."
"Ladies and gentlemen, has anyone seen Olivia, Ava's sister? She's in charge of an important role in the sound and production for the entertainment. We can't continue the reception. She was here just a moment ago."
Jack's call caused a stir throughout the venue. Many people were searching for me in the lobby and bathrooms. There were even critical voices wondering why the bride's sister would disappear silently. Indeed, I was supposed to utilize my video editing skills for the wedding reception. As Jack said, without me, none of the entertainment could start. Jack's parents were the ones panicking. They apparently hadn't realized how crucial I was.
"Come to think of it, she said her stomach hurt and left a while ago."
"We should look for her too. She must be around here somewhere." They were in a frenzy. They started looking for me. As they approached, I slipped out from my hiding spot. The other guests hadn't noticed yet. Jack's parents glared at me.
"So you were here. Look, we're withdrawing our order for you not to come. Go back to the venue. We're allowing you to join. Without you, it seems nothing can start."
"But didn't you say there's no place for a bottom-rung woman who didn't go to college?"
"We're specially arranging a seat for you. Can't you take a hint? Be grateful, okay? This is special treatment." "That's right. Normally, we wouldn't allow someone like you to join."
"You've been entrusted with an important role, so reluctantly we're letting you join." Jack's parents still looked menacing, their disdainful eyes looking down on me, as if they were looking at something dirty.
"But you understand, right? Keep this exchange to yourself."
"If Jack finds out we kicked you out, who knows what he'll think? Promise you won't tell anyone, then we'll take you back." "I understand. I won't speak of this matter to anyone." Once I promised, Jack's parents smirked with a sarcastic smile. Then they took me back to the reception, pretending as if nothing had happened. Ava looked visibly relieved to see me. "Where did you go?"
What were you doing?
Relatives asked. Then, I suddenly felt ill, I responded with a wry smile. Jack and Ava still looked uneasy. I hurried to the side of the bride and groom.
Thank goodness you're safe,
Jack whispered.
Where have you been until now?
Well, just as I expected, I was thrown out of the venue.
What?
That's really unfortunate. It would have been better if nothing had happened.
It's regrettable. I'm sorry this happened, but there's no helping it now. Let's proceed as planned. You got the footage, right?
I should have, but are you sure? It's your wedding reception after all.
Don't worry about it. I was prepared for this, and I want to set things straight.
Jack's determination seemed unwavering. It was Ava and I who hesitated. Depending on how this goes, Jack's family might. Seeing me uncertain, Jack gave me a reassuring smile.
It's okay. Please go ahead. They're the ones at fault. We can't let them get away with this. They need to face the consequences.
Okay, if you say so, we'll proceed with the plan. I left the bride and groom and took my seat, prepared for what was to come. Finally, the reception resumed with a signal from the newlyweds. Then, the time for the first entertainment act arrived. I worked on my computer at a space provided backstage. The lights in the venue dimmed, and a large screen descended from the ceiling. The moment had arrived. I bravely pressed the play button. The screen showed footage of Jack's parents. The venue erupted in chaos.
What is this? Wait a minute. When did someone record this?
Stop it! Who is doing this? Stop it right now! It's no wonder they panicked. The footage showed them speaking harshly about me.
Don't come. You're foolish. Raised in a parentless home. Not college educated, bottom-rung woman. There's no place for you here.
Their abusive words echoed in the venue. My voice of resistance was also captured. Unbeknownst to them, my accessory had a hidden camera. It was for gathering evidence in case Jack's parents harmed me. In the worst-case scenario, I planned to expose their abuse at the venue. Jack and I had agreed on this beforehand.
Stop it. Hey, staff, stop this video right now.
Where is that woman? She must have played it. Ah, there she is. Jack's parents noticed me backstage. They seemed intent on stopping me by force, advancing towards me. But before they could reach me, Jack and several men stood in their way.
Dad, Mom, you've done something terrible. Why would you do this? She's a bottom-rung woman who didn't go to college, that's why.
That's right. It's unacceptable for our family to have someone who didn't attend college.
This is for your own good, too. Having a non-college educated relative is just a nuisance.
That's right, Jack. You could be looked down upon because of her. Their words were outrageous. An extreme case of educational elitism. It was beyond excusable. Nowadays, are there people as concerned about their relatives' education as these two?
Listen, our upper-class family doesn't need ties with a woman who hasn't been to college.
Our honor is at stake. Just be quiet, Jack, and do as you're told.
It's okay for the wife. She went to college and got a good job.
But her sister is no good. She didn't go to college and isn't employed. I work from home. I'm not unemployed. I've filed as a sole proprietor and live off my labor income. However, it seems Jack's parents don't understand this. In their eyes, not working for a company means being unemployed. The guests looked at the groom's parents with disdain. Jack clenched his fist tightly.
Enough. With the video and now this, it's all discrimination and prejudice. Upper class? Where do we fit in as upper class? Shame on you. Shame.
Jack's shouting echoed through the venue. His parents were taken aback by his anger. Everyone was overwhelmed by Jack's presence.
I've always hated Dad and Mom's distorted views. I told Olivia that she might be discriminated against because of her education. That was me. You did? Yes, I prepared for the worst case scenario. Unfortunately, it's come to pass. Dad and Mom are the worst kind of bigots. Please apologize to Olivia now. Apologize? Us? Of course, you've hurled insults and hurt her. Why are you surprised? Apologize to Olivia first, then to everyone here in the venue. How dare you? Why should we apologize?
That's right. We haven't said anything wrong. Both are hardened bigots. Jack held his forehead and sighed deeply. Taking the microphone from the staff, he addressed the whole venue.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry you had to witness such an unpleasant scene. As you've seen, my parents are extremely discriminatory. Hey, Jack, stop it! I cannot apologize enough to Olivia, who has been hurt by their words. Since they are, as you see, allow me, their son, to apologize on their behalf.
Jack, stop it now!
I cannot agree or understand my parents' views. I'm ashamed as their son. I regret not intervening sooner.
Jack looked truly distressed. It seemed he was frustrated by his inability to change his parents' views.
As you've heard, they're stubborn. I can't handle them anymore. Therefore, I want to declare here that I'm cutting ties with my parents. What?
Jack, what are you saying? Other relatives stopped the parents from trying to retract their statements. Everyone was angry at their arrogance. Someone questioned how they weren't ashamed to let their son go this far. Realizing their disadvantageous position, Jack's parents finally admitted their fault. They apologized to me and everyone in the venue, but it was too late. Following Jack's instructions, the staff escorted them out. Thus, the reception proceeded without the groom's parents. Later on, Jack formally declared he was cutting ties with his parents. He decided to leave his family home and start living in an apartment with Ava. When Jack came to tell me this, his expression was bright and clear.
When I left home, both of them were crying. Frankly, I was astounded. Even after all that's happened, they still say it's not their fault.
They both got quite a scolding from the relatives, too.
Really, there's no saving them.
His parents, proud of their son, were greatly weakened. After the reception, they faced significant criticism from their own family. Moreover, the incident at the venue leaked out and became the talk of the neighborhood. Now they seemed to be completely isolated in the community.
Recently, Dad and Mom just kept blaming each other. It's like, this is all your fault. No, it's your fault.
It's futile. It's clear they were both equally at fault.
Neither of them wants to admit their responsibility. It's truly pitiful, Olivia. I'm really sorry for everything.
Big sis, I'm truly sorry. I'm fine. You two don't have anything to apologize for. In a way, my sister and her husband were also victims. Their important wedding reception turned into such a mess. I hope Jack's parents spend years reflecting on their actions. Jack is a very strong-willed person. He's determined not to forgive his parents unless they completely change their ways. It's great that such a dependable person became my sister's partner. Being around my sister and her husband makes me think that marriage might be nice. These days, it's common for people to marry later in life. Even someone nearing 40 like me looking for a partner isn't unusual. Maybe it's time for me to start seeking a wonderful encounter. There are many ways to meet people, like parties and apps. I should step out without fear. And one day, I'll build a happy family, no less joyful than my sister's. That's how I'm positively thinking these days.